You know that feeling when you walk into a hardware store? Because you just need like a simple screwdriver to fix a loose cabinet handle.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And then before you know it, a salesperson is aggressively pitching you this, I don't know, $3,000 laser-guided, Bluetooth-enabled, multi-level workbench.
Right. It is like the ultimate upsell trap.
It really is.
I mean, the idea of having every conceivable tool at your fingertips is incredibly seductive,
Yeah.
right? At least right up until the moment you actually have to pay for it.
And store it.
Exactly. And figure out how to calibrate the lasers. And most of the time, the cabinet handle just stays loose because the solution became way too complicated.
Yeah, and that specific feeling of feature overkill is exactly what we are putting under the magnifying glass today. Welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Whether you are a solo attorney trying to keep your firm's overhead manageable, or you're just a naturally curious learner who's fascinated by the hidden machinery that makes niche industries run, we are opening up the back end of the legal world today.
It is a notoriously complex ecosystem. And for good reason, honestly. The margin for error is effectively zero.
Oh, absolutely. So today we are pulling our insights from a deeply researched May 2026 article by Shambha that's over at the ServiceAgent blog.
Yeah.
The piece is titled 7 Best Legal Billing Software for Small Firms in 2026. And our mission for this deep dive is really to help you cut through all that massive software bloat.
Which there is a lot of.
So much. We are going to figure out exactly what kind of tech stack a modern law firm actually needs to survive. Like, we want to help you save time, keep the cash flowing, and avoid some genuinely massive compliance traps along the way.
Yeah, those compliance traps can be brutal.
Okay, let's unpack this, because buying legal software seems to be an absolute minefield.
It really is.
Law firms frequently fall into this trap of paying a small fortune for software suites they never fully use. Or, on the flip side, they try to cut corners with cheap tools and end up missing the one crucial compliance feature that keeps the state bar from literally taking their license.
And that tension pretty much defines the entire market right now. But to truly understand how to build a smart system, we actually need to restructure how we think about this list.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so the source article organizes these tools by category. But if we want to understand the real-world application, we need to look at the chronological life cycle of a billable hour.
Oh, I like that approach. Because a billable hour doesn't actually start when you write the invoice, right? It starts the moment a potential client reaches out.
Precisely.
And if you drop the ball there, the rest of your fancy tech stack is completely useless.
Exactly. I mean, if you do not acquire the client, there is no time to track, and obviously there are no invoices to send.
Which makes total sense. So we're essentially asking, do you want a tool that runs your entire practice from start to finish, or just your billing?
Right, the classic all-in-one versus a la carte dilemma. And when we look at the heavyweight all-in-one category, Clio is just the undisputed market leader.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
They basically invented cloud-based legal practice management back in 2008. And today, they have over 150,000 legal professionals using it globally.
Oh, that's huge. And the appeal is pretty obvious, right? It connects everything from the initial intake forms to document storage to the final accounting.
It does everything.
But this brings us right back to our hardware store analogy. Because buying Clio for a solo attorney feels exactly like buying a massive 500-channel premium cable bundle when you really only watch 3 channels.
That is a perfect way to put it. And it is priced like a premium bundle, too. Clio starts at $49 a month per user, but it utilizes a very deliberate tiered pricing strategy.
Right, the source notes that users constantly complain about this. The features they actually want are locked away in the higher tiers.
Always.
Like if you want their specialized intake CRM, Clio Grow, you have to upgrade to the complete plan. And that jumps to $129 per user per month.
Yeah, it gets expensive fast.
If you are a solo practitioner billing a modest amount each month, you're paying a massive premium for a suite of tools you might literally never open.
What's fascinating here is how software choice really reflects your business strategy. Because if you want an all-in-one system, but at a lower price point, the source highlights My Case,
Okay.
which starts at just $39 a month. And its standout feature is a highly integrated two-way client portal.
I saw that in the article. I found that feature brilliant.
It really is.
Clients can log in securely, view their case documents, check their invoices, and actually message the attorney directly. And the reviews highlight that this drastically reduces those really annoying, "Did you get my payment?" or "Where's my invoice?" phone calls.
Which is huge for productivity.
Exactly. If you are deep into researching complex case law, An administrative phone call completely shatters your focus. So the portal essentially protects the attorney's deep work.
But even my case has features some attorneys will consider bloat.
Sure.
I mean, if a firm already uses Google Workspace or Dropbox for document storage, they don't need to pay for case management software.
That makes sense.
This is where the a la carte pure billing specialists like TimeSolve and Bill4Time become incredibly attractive. They strip away the client portals and the massive CRM features.
And they are much cheaper, right?
Yeah,
TimeSolve is just $19.95 a month, and Bill4Time is $29.
exactly. They are purpose-built strictly for logging time and generating clean invoices. Plus, they include highly specialized compliance features, most notably Letty's e-billing.
Okay, we need to unpack Letty's because it is much more than just a standardized billing format.
Yeah.
Letty's stands for Legal Electronic Data Exchange Standard.
Right.
If a law firm is defending a massive insurance company, that insurance company is not going to have a human being read a paper invoice.
No, absolutely not. They require the law firm to submit the invoice as a machine-readable code.
Wow.
Yeah, this allows the insurance company to use their own software to automatically audit the lawyer's bill.
So it's essentially an AI checking the lawyer's homework.
Exactly. If the lawyer coded, say, 3 hours for a routine motion, and the insurance company's algorithm dictates that motion should only take 1 hour,
The system automatically rejects the charge.
boom, rejected. It is a brutal algorithmic audit of a lawyer's time.
That sounds intense. So if your firm does corporate or insurance defense work, LD's billing isn't just a nice-to-have feature.
Not at all.
It is an absolute mandatory requirement just to get paid. So a lean tool like TimeSolve provides that essential machine-readable formatting without forcing the lawyer to buy the massive Clio cable bundle.
Precisely. Now, assuming you've got the billing software sorted, we have established how to log time manually.
Right.
But what if the biggest leak in a law firm's revenue isn't a clunky software interface, but just human memory?
Yeah, the infamous "I forgot to start the timer" problem.
We all do it.
Seriously. You pick up the phone, the answer of a quick question from a client, you hang up, an urgent email pops into your inbox, you deal with that, and you completely forget to write down that you just spent 18 minutes giving legal advice.
Exactly.
And if you multiply those lost 15-minute increments by weeks and months, the firm is just hemorrhaging revenue.
To solve this, the source introduces Smokeball,
Smokeball, okay.
which, by the way, boasts the highest G2 rating on the list, a 4.8 out of 5.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and its standout feature, its entire value proposition, is built around passive automatic time tracking.
Wait, so if it is completely passive, does that mean it's essentially watching everything you do on your computer, like running a stopwatch every time I open Microsoft Word?
Basically, yes.
Because that sounds a bit like Big Brother, like having a junior paralegal standing silently over your shoulder with a clipboard, just monitoring every single click.
That is functionally exactly what it is doing.
Wow.
It monitors your activity in the background across your document processors, your emails, and your VoIP phone calls.
That's wild.
And then it algorithmically assigns that time to specific client matters without you ever clicking a start or stop button.
Okay, I can see how that completely eliminates the revenue leak. It recovers the money slipping through the cracks of human forgetfulness.
It really does.
But the source points out two massive caveats with Smokeball. First, it is exclusively built for Windows.
Yep, that's a big one.
The passive tracking simply does not function on a Mac. So if you're a Mac-first firm, you're entirely out of luck. This tool is useless to you.
And the second caveat speaks to the philosophy of software pricing. Smokeball charges per seat, starting at $49 a month. And reviewers specifically complain that there is no discounted tier for support staff.
Which is brutal for a law firm's profit margins.
Oh, yeah.
If you have one attorney billing time, but 3 paralegals and administrative assistants who are not generating billable hours, you are still paying premium software rates for those non-revenue generating employees.
Yeah.
Just so they can access the files.
It forces a firm to make really hard decisions about overhead. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, what we are seeing with Smokeball is a fundamental shift in how professionals interact with technology.
How so?
Well, automation is moving from helping you actively do a task to seamlessly recording the task invisibly in the background.
Oh, I see.
And for a forgetful attorney, recovering just 1 lost hour a month often pays for a whole year of the software.
That is a great point. So Smokeball passively tracked your time and maybe Bill4Time generated a clean invoice. But when the client actually pays you, if you put that money into the wrong bank account, you could literally lose your license to practice law.
This is the danger zone.
Yes, moving from tracking to collecting. This is the quickest way for an attorney to get in serious trouble.
We are talking about IOLTA compliance.
Right, IOLTA, interest on lawyers' trust accounts.
Exactly. And the source introduces a platform called LawPay to manage this.
LawPay.
Yeah, and it's entirely unique on this list because it doesn't track a single minute of time and it doesn't generate invoices.
So what does it do?
It is strictly a payment processor. It charges standard rates, about 2.9% plus 25 cents per transaction.
Okay, pretty standard.
But over 150,000 firms use it, and its whole purpose for existing is strict IOLTA compliance.
Which is so critical.
To understand why this matters, you really have to understand trust accounting. When a client hands a lawyer, say, a $5,000 retainer to start a case, that money does not belong to the lawyer.
Right, it is entirely unearned.
Correct. By law, it must sit in a highly regulated trust account. As the lawyer actually does the work and bills the hours, they are allowed to move the earned amount out of the trust account and into their business operating account.
Okay.
But if a lawyer accidentally deposits a retainer check into their operating account, even if it is just an honest bookkeeping mistake, they have commingled client funds with business funds.
And state bar associations do not view commingling as a minor bookkeeping error. They view it as a severe ethical violation.
Oh, absolutely. It often results in immediate suspension or even disbarment. Separating these funds is a strict legal requirement in most states.
So LawPay removes a massive compliance headache.
Yeah.
I like to compare it to a strict bouncer at an exclusive club.
I love that analogy.
Right. The bouncer takes the client's payment of the door and rigidly separates the unearned trust money and the earned money into two entirely separate VIP sections. So the state bar doesn't show up and shut your practice down.
It is a highly specialized insurance policy for your firm's accounting. However, the source does note a very specific user complaint to watch out for.
What's that?
Reviewers pointed out that ACH payments, direct electronic bank transfers, they would occasionally get rejected by the banking system.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even after the LawPay dashboard indicated the transaction was successful.
Wow. Which means you cannot just put your accounting on autopilot.
Nope, users still need to stay vigilant.
Because if the dashboard says a $5,000 transfer cleared, but the bank actually rejected it 2 days later and the lawyers start spending money they think is in the account, they're suddenly overdrafting a trust account.
Exactly. Trust but verify. The software handles the heavy lifting, but the human being is still ultimately responsible.
Okay, so we've optimized the billing, automated the time tracking, and secured the payments. But none of that matters if the phone rings at 5:01 p.m., nobody answers, and the potential client calls the firm down the street.
Which brings us to the top of the funnel.
Yes, and here's where it gets really interesting, because the article includes an outlier, ServiceAgent.
Right, launched just recently in April 2025.
And it isn't actually a billing tool at all. It handles zero legal billing.
It operates at an entirely different layer. It's a free platform where you pay per call.
It's basically a 24/7 AI voice agent, right? It answers inbound calls, qualifies the leads, and books consultations directly into a CRM like Clio.
Exactly. And for a solo practitioner, the stakes here are massive. If a panicked client calls at 5:01 p.m. because they were just served with a lawsuit, they aren't going to leave a voicemail and wait until Tuesday.
No, they're panicked. They're going to hang up and call the firm down the street, because a billable hour can only begin if you actually capture the client in the first place.
This raises an important question about the blending of general business AI and legal tech.
Oh, definitely.
The source notes that ServiceAgent claims a 100% call answer rate and saves owners 10 or more hours a week. Reclaiming 10 hours to actually practice law instead of playing receptionist is a massive win.
But there is a glaring, flashing caution light here regarding compliance.
Always is.
Because an AI answering the phone for a roofing company is just taking down a name and an address. An AI answering the phone for a personal injury law firm might be collecting deeply sensitive medical information.
Which brings us to the critical distinction between general software and legal software. Law firms are bound by uniquely strict regulations.
Right.
If your AI is handling medical records, it must be HIPAA compliant. If it is processing sensitive financial data, it needs SOC 2 compliance.
And the source explicitly advises that firms must manually verify these compliance standards directly on a demo call, right?
Yes. Because it is so new launched, just a month prior to the article, there are no G2 reviews yet. You cannot just assume a general AI is automatically cleared for privileged legal communications.
Wow. Okay, let's pull all of this together for you. We've mapped out a whole journey here.
It's been quite the journey.
To build a smart legal tech stack, you really have to match the tool to your firm's actual size and needs.
Right.
Don't buy the giant Clio cable bundle if you just need the lean, LE's-compliant efficiency of TimeSolve.
Exactly.
Use Smokeball to fix your forgetful time tracking, assuming you're on a PC. Protect your license from accidental commingling with a strict bouncer like LawPay. And don't let leads die after hours when an AI front office like ServiceAgent can catch them.
That pretty much covers the life cycle.
So what does this all mean?
Well, I want to leave everyone with a final concept to chew on, something hovering just beneath the surface of this entire discussion.
I'm intrigued.
Think about the technological progression we just mapped out. We have AI tools like ServiceAgent, flawlessly handling client intake and bookings. We have AI tools like Smokeball, perfectly tracking time in the background without human input. Software is automating the entire administrative wrapper of the legal profession.
The machine is doing the heavy lifting.
Exactly. Which means we are rapidly approaching a breaking point. How long will it be until the clients themselves realize that software is doing all this back-end work?
Oh.
And when they realize that, how long until they start aggressively questioning why they're still paying human hourly rates for those administrative tasks?
That is a dangerous realization for the entire industry. If the client knows an AI answered the phone, booked the meeting, and formatted the invoice, defending a premium billable hour for anything other than deep legal analysis becomes almost impossible.
It definitely makes the traditional billing model look pretty fragile.
It really does. Well, whether you are trying to minimize overhead for your own practice or you're just enjoying the view of how these complex industries operate, remember, you don't always need to buy the laser-guided workbench. Sometimes, you really just need a screwdriver. Keep questioning the systems around you, and we'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.